What's going on, traders? How we doing on out there? Don't know why Ninja Trader background was on pre-market prep, but let's go ahead. Let's dive on in. Welcome to it, guys. Ready to go ahead and talk about the day. Good if we go live. Come on. What is going on here? Getting some lag here. Are we live? All right, there you go. Looks like we're live there. What? All right, I see the chat comments. It's kind of funny though, at least on my side of things, in my little setup thing here, it still says go live. I don't know what's going on there. Just letting you guys know. I probably won't even be able to end the show. At least I'll try to figure out a way later, but don't worry about it, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's dive on into today's action. Welcome to At the Close. We'll talk about Apple. Why did the Apple just drag the whole market down here? What happened? And I'll talk a little bit about it. It looks like we had something in the tape, but something was hidden out there. Then eventually got released. That's when you saw the market really continuing down here. We'll talk all about that. Hit the like button. I know you guys can hear me because I see you in the chat. For some reason, I'm still not live, at least on my side. At least it doesn't say that. But oh well, let's keep going into it. Let's jump right into the market.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, traders, it looks like for some reason it still tells me that we're not live, but I think I've hit live like 10 times. But hey, let's just keep going. Let's just rock it, right? Let's get into this market. Let's take a look at what we saw. SPY coming down there, boom, down, back to it towards the 381. Anybody that was playing the hero today probably got woken up that, hey, maybe it's not the time to play hero. We saw the SPY get up there towards 388.24, then right back down there towards 381, almost a 10-point swing right back down. We'll see if it closes towards the 381 level. It's at 382 right now, has gone towards a low of 380.80. We'll see if it takes this out. It's all coming on the heels of Apple just getting hit hard here, guys, out of nowhere. And I was actually live when this happened, guys. When this first candle happened at 135, I was trying to explain it in the chat. I looked in the BZ Pro, and what did I see? I saw that there was slow hiring and something kind of mentioned there about kind of slowing down hiring. And you even saw there at that moment, you saw Bloomberg go towards a kind of report from the reporter that put out this article saying pretty much that they were moving the markets. Of course, they didn't mean to move the markets, but that article was the one that was moving the markets. The truth was that it wasn't that article that really was moving the markets. To me, it seems like it was somebody had this headline early, and this headline came out just after that, where Apple's being sued over Apple Pay, accused of antitrust violations here. And I think this is what really caused the downturn. The only problem is that we didn't get that really to hit the tape until a little bit after that. It wasn't just the first thing that coming on in there. And it's something to keep on watch. You're seeing more and more mentions of it now, but I would keep watch to see what happens here. Antitrust is definitely what you call a red flag warning. Red flag warning for not only Apple, but others in the industry. And there you guys have it. Apple dragging down the market, just getting slacked there through the 150 as quick as butter on bread, baby. You saw it go down there towards 147. We'll see if it gets down towards the 146 handle. You could see the quick rejection from the bullish tape. We were looking bullish. We were getting back up there towards the 150 on Apple, and Apple said, nope, not going to happen, at least right now. Not going to break out towards the upside. We'll see what happens. It was just a big fake out this morning. I could kind of agree. Disagree. It was the slow hiring, says Jay. That's cool. It's okay to disagree on that. I don't think it was the slow hiring, because slowing hiring doesn't do anything. In my eyes, layoffs would make me think that, hey, yes, that could be a real negative catalyst. Slowing the hiring just shows a slowdown. It's not like they said they wouldn't hire, but hey, to each his own. It's up to you thinking about what actually caused that drop. I'm going to let that one go. I'm not going to be worrying about what actually caused it, other than I think it's that Apple sue. But that just shows me that, hey, this market, and we thought the rally had some legs, and it did not have the legs today. Definitely coming right back down, and we'll see what happens there. Definitely something to keep on watch as Apple getting sued over Apple Pay. I think that's definitely something that I'll keep on watch there. Pulling back there to 381s now. The SPY crushing down here, and we got some red now. Earlier in the day, and this was as early as 2 hours ago, or even an hour and a half ago, energy and consumer cyclical was leading us up. Now you're seeing actually consumer cyclical down from the open. Energy still leading us up, but pulling on back. Also, you can take a look here on XOM. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. You can see how that pulled back also with the market. So it's been hard to hold any gains today. Basic materials really quickly taking a downturn there. I took my shot earlier in the day with BTU. Made a good profit on that first leg up towards the high. Looked for the high of the day to break out here on 78. Took some profits, and no, it came right back to my entry, stopping me out. And then eventually I took a swing trade, trying to get it back. It got close there to 22.50. Then eventually I got stopped out here through the 22 level. So it was a small stop out. Still a gain on BTU, but definitely you can see how coal just kind of slipped away there and couldn't hold the gains. What was on the downside big? Healthcare just leaking out the gates here. And what was the majority of the downside action in? Diagnostics and research. This just fell off the tape here. So keep these ones on your radar to see. You could potentially see some downside continuation. Thermo Fisher is one that I definitely point out, about 4% down here. TMO, and this looks ugly. This looks like it wants to just break down to the 500. So keep this one on radar. DHR is another one here. PHG. Taking a look at some bigger names here. LNTH, ugly turnaround there on that chart. There's a lot of these that kind of just turned around hard after we've been seeing Biotech's really holding up. Look at this pullback today, right back down to support. And so tomorrow we could catch the support there and maybe start holding on Biotech's, but you really don't want to see them start crushing down those numbers. Moderna is a good chart to keep on watch. Came down to the lows today, now pulling off those lows, but really close there. If it takes out the 160, it could continue right back down after that kind of big push that it's had. I'll see if it gets to the 159 and holds, comes back up through the 160s is what I'll be looking for in Moderna. All right, but it's by myself today, so we're going to go ahead and pay attention. Shows how the Qs are vulnerable to 4 or 5 name: Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla. But to me, Jay, I think it was just Apple, at least from what I was watching. That was the first one that dragged us down. I know that Microsoft came down too, but I don't think it came down as fast as the Apple one. I have to take a look there. I mean, the candle's pretty close there, but I didn't see necessarily even mentions from Microsoft. I have to go ahead and take a look there. Didn't see too much there. And taking a look now, yeah, I don't see too much there. They have pointed that it was because of these, but they did drag it. I mean, let's take a look there. Tesla coming down there fast too, right off of that number there too. And so, I mean, this is where you start wondering, is Tesla going to hold on to the 750, or are we just going to break down towards the 621s? That could easily start turning things around, right? So who has earnings tonight that might affect tech? good idea. Let's take a look there if there's anybody on the calendar to kind of keep on watch that's going to come after the bell today. There isn't too much. Of course, IBM is going to be one to watch today. Lockheed Martin is coming up tomorrow before the open, so keep your eyes on Lockheed. But for me, I think IBM would be the one to kind of watch, see how that reacts, fried chicken, and we'll see if this kind of gets back there and gives you a little bit of that breading to come back on up. All right, let's keep on going there. This is Black Monday. It's not that bad. The panic begins. We'll see. I don't think it's panic yet, but it very well could be if we start seeing some down earnings and then just keep getting hit this week, right? All right, so let's go towards the news of today. Of course, it was a lot on the banks, focusing on Goldman Sachs as being the good report that was supposed to hold us up in financials, and this did not hold. Now I'm looking for the 299 to hold the level on the pullback here, but definitely not holding the big breakout that it had early in the day. It pushed up there towards 310s, couldn't get back up there. And of course, this is coming off of a beat and a beat there for Goldman Sachs. So we'll see what happens there. Looks like my connection's cutting a little bit. Am I lagging, guys? I just want to check the chat to see if you guys see that I'm lagging or something here. But just want to make sure that I'm not cutting out. All right. IBM is software, so it's tech. Yeah, it falls in there. I'm good. All right, let's keep it going. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into what we should watch for. Of course, Johnson & Johnson before the bell, Hasbro before the bell. So let's see how these kind of perform today. You can see it was riding on up. People were looking for an up move in Hasbro. Couldn't hold above the 80s today. Let's take a look at Johnson & Johnson, J&J coming on down there fast here right before the earnings. Not a good sign there as he rejected to get back above the 180s. Could come right back down into the 170 zone. We'll see what happened in Johnson & Johnson tomorrow before the bell. Of course, Delta was moving up there from the Boeing news, but now pulling on back fast. Of course, this comes after buying Boeing MAX planes. The deal is for 10737 MAX 10 planes with an option of 30 more, right? Delta pulling back fast here towards the 3116. For a while there, the airlines were holding up and now getting really dragged on the kind of market drag. And so now you're going to start seeing these stories kind of flip. The real question is, does this continue to the downside or not? I think it's something to keep on watch. We'll see what happens. UNG is something definitely on my radar. Natural gas. We did get natural gas news today, so keep this one on your radar. This came from the EU signing a new gas deal with Azerbaijan on Monday. It's committed to delivering at least 20 billion cubic meters to the EU annually by 2027. That kind of help continue the gains there that you saw there, but I'm continuing to watch this as the situation is going to get pretty interesting as we keep going later in the month. At the end of the month, there's going to be a decision that has to be made by Russia if they want to completely cut the supply lines, and this is something to watch. Who knows? Oil could be back up there by 140. It very much could be. I thought 50 was a great opportunity for oil, and I hope that somebody was able to capture that around the 50s. AMC best stock today. How did our AMC perform? I was looking at GME. Hell yeah, nice little move up there towards 17. I've been watching the 15 hold on this for so long, been talking about this. So I know that a lot of people don't like to talk about AMC, but I've been on top of it. I've been watching this 15 hold plenty of times. Look how we got out of that 15 hold on Friday. Then boom, back up there towards 16, 17. Not looking too bad. GME also coming up today, getting up there towards the 149. I'm looking for a breakout towards the 150. It's not looking too bad as these continue to hold. And the AMC story is starting to turn around, at least in my eyes. We've been seeing decent box office numbers, and that was the concern in AMC for a long time where, well, they're not even making money. Well, now that it looks like they're at least having some good box office. We'll see if this can continue to drive up there towards 17 today. Next level to watch, of course, is that 17. From there, we can get up there towards 20s And that's when we can really start getting a squeeze if we get up there towards the 20 area. All right, let's continue going. Other news to kind of keep on watch, of course. Let's take a look at Coin. Coin had a really good day today. This was with the Bitcoin run. But look how this just turns back around. As soon as the market turns around, Coin turned around. I was looking at this VWAP bounce early in the day. It was a nice little push on back. It was about a 9% move back towards the highs. Something to keep on your radar definitely is Coin. It has been strong. Every time the market is like, okay, we're coming back, we're rallying. Well, Coin is one of those that kind of lead the rally. So eventually I do think this one has a big push. For right now, I don't think that's it unless it could hold above 60. And you can see how it's rejected multiple times in that 60 area. Let's see if it comes back into that zone and holds 60.36. But for right now, it doesn't look like it wants to hold. All right, let's keep going. They got rid of the large popcorn. Shake my head. Yeah, that's a shake my head. I just had a large popcorn this weekend. So let's keep going. Let's take a look at what other stocks are being mentioned in the chat. I will let you guys know I am taking a little bit of a swing on the Cannabis Administration Opportunity Act to see if it gets announced, to see if it gets a push. So I went long on Tilray today. We'll see what happens with this one. Of course, this is just a guess. This is like kind of a smaller position just to see what happens. Do we get mentions, more mentions of the Cannabis Administration Opportunity Act? We'll see what happens in that. It's supposed to be released this week or unveiled this week. So keep this one on radar. We'll see what happens there. Netflix outlook is definitely going to be something to watch. I did see Lockheed Martin have some news for tomorrow. So, well, today it is down on this news, but I think this is a little bit of a positive. It said that the U.S. Department of Defense is nearing an agreement with Lockheed Martin for around 375 F-35 fighter jets over 3 years. Three sources said on Monday. So keep this one on your radar. I think that, yeah, it could end red today, and then tomorrow all of a sudden just start pushing back. So I'll see what happens in Lockheed Martin. But right now it's pointing to the downside. This one does report before the bell. So maybe they have good earnings, and then we look for it to recover some of these losses that it had today. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, let's catching up with the chat. What are you guys taking a look at? Looks like someone was talking about HYMC Green Nuggets. Oh, man, we'll see about that one. That one definitely hasn't moved much. Let's continue going. What other ones you guys want to talk about in the chat? Knowing that Amazon went red on this Apple crap. Yeah, that's how this market is. Sometimes you can even have a really good trade, right? This was a nice little setup, little flag pattern, pushes up, looking good here, and all of a sudden, kapow. It just gets hit hard there. And that's how it can go in this market. This is why I always try to stay with the overall market and the rotation overall. When you see that rotation go against you, sometimes it's okay to run towards those profits. It's happened to me before where I've had a great trade on, but then the overall market or some stock really just takes down the overall market. And here you guys are seeing, hey, this could have been a great opportunity for me to make some decent money there. So we'll see what happens here, if we can continue getting that lift or not. But Amazon was looking good. Does it come back down now and test back towards the 105? I definitely don't want to see it down there, but like always, we just never know in this market. Qs were looking really strong early in the day. It was pushing, it was holding. Now right back down towards reality after a nice big push on up in 2 days, knocking us right back down into kind of normal range here. Bigger bear pattern showing up here. So we're going to look to see if this actually takes out the lows or the high candles there. If it comes back towards, let's say 283s, that's where we're really going to get concerned. A crack at 280s could get us down back towards the lows of June. We'll see if we get some new lows in July, by the end of July. And the Fed meeting coming up next week, right? I mean, next week is going to be very important as we get into it. All right, AMD mentioned in the chat, it's going to look very similar. Pulling back after it tried to get back up there. It broke through a nice little pennant flag there. Got up there, couldn't hold, rejecting right back down. That's what happens. It's hard. It's definitely hard. CGC holding up against the drawdown, a sign of strength. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I took Tilray and I took MSOS for my man Spencer out there. I know he'd be proud of me about taking MSOS. So we'll see what happens on this one. This is, of course, the U.S. cannabis ETF. Of course, if this bill would go through, you would get legalized cannabis. So I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, who knows? Is this a good time to enter BTU? I already took my shot. I took a shot towards the upside today. I got stopped out. I did take it on the day trade up there towards the high, but it couldn't break the high of the day, eventually stopping me back out at VWAP. I then took a swing and then got stopped out at 22. So I need to see it recover 22s at least before I look at it in a bullish sense. So it's always up to you if you want to determine this as your swing spot. But for me, I think it needs to get back through the 22s, looking like it wants to get to 23s. Today, it kind of gave up that ride. All right, today's move was a day one move IMO. Yeah, it very much could be. Double down on Chewy puts. Jonathan, you're getting brave with me. All right, Chewy puts there, 45. You look like it was trying to hold. If it breaks this on the downside, the 40s, that's where you'll see the flush. Right now, it's looking interesting. A bunch of rejections in that 45 zone. This one's a little bit more bullish than others, I would say. But hey, I can't blame you. The only reason I think it's more bullish is because it's closer towards the 200-day moving average. But the 50 is all the way down here also. So we're going to have to just continue to watch. See if that 9 starts ticking to the downside, or the 9 EMA, or you see the 50 tick to the downside, because it has been holding relatively well. Let's see what happens in Chewy. All right, what other news can we touch today? Let's go ahead. Let's roll through it. It's about 3:54. We're going to wrap up pretty soon here. We're going to definitely be watching Netflix after the bell on Tuesday. We'll see what happens there. Let's go around. Let's take a look at some other stocks and see how they did. I did want to note that the Homebuilders index fell a decent amount, but it wasn't an alarming rate. It dropped 12 points to 55. Anything above 50 is considered positive. So I know that we were talking this morning about ITB. This is starting to look good for me on the downside attempt here, as I'm seeing kind of that topping action there. But I'd have to look at some maybe options or maybe equity to kind of short there. ITB, see if there's some borrowing cost. It's something to watch. If it doesn't get back above 56 tomorrow, I think it takes out if it doesn't get back up above 58 tomorrow, I think it could take out this shadow and then come right back into it. It already touched it on the upside. What makes us think that we don't just drop back down below that? So I'll be watching for a 56 breakdown towards 55. We'll see what happens on ITB. Also, this looks exactly like Lennar, so you guys can keep that one on watch. If that one can't get back above the 80s, starts breaking to the 75s, you could see a breakdown on this chart. We'll see what happens there. Does it break this line? I'll keep watch of it tomorrow, and we'll definitely see if Lennar starts breaking down. Toll Brothers and another one you can watch. Very similar charts in these home builders. All right, Google, you said? Well, let's see how it's moving here. It's pushing a little bit. I wouldn't say running, but it is trying to come back after. Oh, man, that got shellacked today. I don't know how people were able to hold it during the split there if you were long, but hey, to each his own. I wish you the best. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to start wrapping up in about 4 minutes. So if you guys got a ticker to take a look at, definitely throw it up in the chat. I will take a look at them. Let's take a look at the sectors and the industries coming into the close here. Technology was the area that was holding on and strong. You could see it turned around hard today. And so I'm going to be worried about some of these tech names. We'll see what happens here. Of course, Apple down about 2.8%. Microsoft there down about 0.8. Not the biggest down day for there. Google down 2.3. TSM really flipping there. Meta actually in the green today. That's interesting. NVIDIA hanging on by a thread. Oracle looks like it wants to come right back down. This is one that I think is setting up also for a nice bearish move down. As you tried to get back up there through the 72s, couldn't get up there. I'd be looking for a breakdown back through the 69s. We'll see what happens on these names, but definitely this is looking like a nice little setup. Cisco and QCOM, they're trying to hold up there. Nothing really kind of giving me the signs there, but we'll see what happens here. Can financial services come back or not? Was that City run a trap on Friday? Very much could be. You could see how it turned back. It tried to hold the pullback, to the gains here. City's just staying sideways. So keep this one on watch. You're seeing Goldman pick up off the floor there at that 299 support. So it doesn't look too bad on that one. Let's take a look at like WFC. Now finding a little bit of a bounce there. Doesn't look too bad. We'll keep these one on your radar. Definitely finding a little bit of a bounce here towards the close. Let's take a look at the SPY as you're getting a little bit of a bounce after you went towards what? 380s again. You made a kind of double bottom look around the 380s 66, and we got 380 76. So we'll see if this one can kind of hold. It is bouncing back after just getting hit hard there from around about 1255 down there, about almost 2% there on the spot. Much love, Robin. I hope you enjoyed that. I tried to get through as many stocks as we can do. We'll see what happens here after the close. Going to really focus on to see what happens in our earnings this week. It's going to be very important. I know some people are trying to call the bottom. I'm not there just yet, guys. I know that some people are going to do this. Some people are trying to play the turns. I'm more of a trend trader. I'm waiting till we actually show trend on the way up. We haven't yet seen that in my eyes. So this is why I think this could have just been another dead cat rally, a dead cat bounce, DCB. We'll see what happens there. Is this a dead cat bounce? Could we get back up there? It's going to be a determinant on a lot of the earnings expectations. The earnings were expected to come in on the downside and to see downside hits. Now we saw the banks kind of change that up a little bit. What happens this week is going to be very vital to the stocks. We'll see you tomorrow on, of course, pre-market prep. Sorry we don't got Joel this week. I know he's enjoying it up there in northern Michigan. Hope he's having a good time. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Keep that earnings on your radar, of course. You guys can find this calendar on Benzinga's Twitter. If you guys don't have us, of course, at Benzinga, look it up. Grab the calendar so that you guys can stay up with all the earnings. I'll see you guys next time. Smash the like always, right here on Benzinga.